This is Daryl
And Aaron
on Travel with D&E. If you're in the Pensacola area, you gotta explore the Fort Pickens area on the west end of Santa Rosa Island, located on the Gulf Islands National Seashore. You can't lay out on the hot beach all day, can you? So why not make a trip to the west end of the island to see some cool history?
The Fort Pickens area contains the well-built and surprisingly intact Fort Pickens complex. This historic park was part of the defense infrastructure to protect Pensacola Bay and its naval yard and depot. These defenses include the fort, its cannons, and multiple artillery batteries, including Battery Cooper and Battery Worth, located on the west end of the island. It also includes a building with history on the Pensacola mine defense.
The Fort Pickens area is not just history, but also a destination for families and fun. It has facilities for tents and RVs, camping, picnic areas, trails to hike, a fishing pier, and several parking lots with beach access. If you're staying in Perdido Key, where we were, or Pensacola, or anywhere else on the Santa Rosa Island, all you gotta do is head out of Pensacola across the Santa Rosa Island, then head west. You can't get lost, and you can't miss it. That's where you're gonna find the Fort Pickens area. As you go west, you'll come upon these gates. And then you'll start seeing the Fort Pickens complex. Just keep heading around, you'll see a parking lot off to your right. Park there and go and enjoy the Fort Pickens area.
What's the history of Fort Pickens? Spain renounced its claim to West Florida and ceded East Florida through the U.S. for $5 million. That was part of the 1819 transcontinental treaty Spain entered into with the United States. The Pensacola Navy Yards area was designated in 1825. Soon thereafter, Congress appropriated monies for a lighthouse. President James Monroe recognized some form of defense was needed for the new Navy Yard and depot in Pensacola Bay. In 1828, the federal government acquired almost 1,000 acres of west end of Santa Rosa Island to build Fort Pickens.
Construction of Fort Pickens started in 1829. Fort Pickens was constructed to withstand major battles and hurricanes. They used over 21.5 million locally made bricks. The fort was built with 5 huge bastions or walls. 4 of these walls faced water, while one faced land to defend it from a land attack. The buildings were 2-tiered, and there was a counterscarp or outer wall of the ditch that wrapped around the fort. The wall rose 40 feet from the bottom of the ditch, making assault over the wall very difficult. The fort also used a double arch for extra support and strength. So there was an arch at the top and a reverse arch at the bottom. In 1833, the fort was officially named Fort Pickens. It was named after Brigadier General Andrew Pickens, who led patriots in the South Carolina backcountry during the American Revolution.
The fort was completed in 1834. Fort Pickens became the largest brick structure on the Gulf of Mexico and was considered a demonstration of the latest and best approach in coastal defense design, construction, and weaponry. The most significant defense of the fort was against the Confederates who attacked the fort on October 9, 1861, in the Battle of Santa Rosa Island. The Confederates landed 4 miles away and attacked Fort Pickens with 1,000 men. The Union soldiers at Fort Pickens repelled the attack, with the Confederates being forced to retreat with 90 casualties. Fort Pickens also came into play in the Civil War and during World War I.
As far as batteries, you have the Pensacola battery. It's a 2-story reinforced concrete gun battery, and it used the Endicott period 12-inch coastal gun. This is Battery 234, and its neighbor, Battery Cooper, is the most interesting of all batteries at the Fort Pickens area because they have actual guns in place. And this is one of the 2 6-inch guns with steel shields at Battery 234. Battery Cooper, built in 1905, it contains 2 6-inch guns that face the Gulf of Mexico to protect the approach to Pensacola Harbor. The guns were placed on carriages that were lowered below the battery walls for loading and safety, raised above the wall and fired. There were a few other batteries, but we had to get back to Perdido Key.
The mine storeroom was originally built in 1898 by the U.S. Army to hide their mine defense system. By 1926, the mine defense system was retired. At that point, the U.S. Navy took over responsibility for the harbor's mine system. The The storeroom is now operated as a store by the park's tour boat operator, Pensacola Bay Cruises. Military operations ceased in 1949 at Fort Pickens, along with the batteries on the west end of Santa Rosa Island. The buildings were abandoned in 1971, but the land remained under federal control and joined the National Park Service's Gulf Islands National Seashore.
Now, what to expect when exploring Fort Pickens and the batteries? Entrance to the park requires an entrance fee of $25 for a vehicle good for 1 week. Credit cards only. National Park passes are honored for admission. Luckily, we had a National Park pass, so we got in free. You're able to explore Fort Pickens at your own pace or with a guided tour from a park ranger. There's some stairs to the second level of the structure, but are not required. Look, if you like this content, you're going to enjoy the Pensacola Graffiti Bridge video. That's right in Pensacola. Check that out. It's pretty cool itself. And take a look at all of our travel videos where we hope to give you some inspiration to help you plan your next trip with your significant others. Do us a favor, go ahead and subscribe, like that video. Feel free to share it. Don't forget to comment down below. Thanks for watching. And as always, we will see you in the next video.